take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. This is Kevin Pond, Chair of the Board of Assessors. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me prior to me calling the meeting to order. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Bev Wheeler.
Here.
Roger Bradley.
Here.
Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Molly Reed, Assessing Director.
Here.
Okay. Any anticipated speakers on the agenda?
None.
Okay. With a quorum of the board present, I call this meeting to order at 6:05 p.m. on February 13th, 2023. And that is a Monday night. Okay.
So we have the minutes from January 23rd. We were all here and the meeting was called to order. No, we weren't all here.
Yeah, that's right.
Bev was
Yeah.
absent, but Kevin and Roger were here and the meeting was called to order at 6:01. We approved the minutes from January 9th with a vote of 2-0. I told you that we had gotten issue number 12 from 2022 from the Warren Group, which are sales. I updated you on our inspections for abatements. I left a 2022 calendar sales report. I sent the draft town report off to where it was supposed to go. And we discussed an article for town meeting to increase assets and income, assets by a COLA, which you said yes to go ahead with. And I notified you that we had got notice of commitment 1 from 2023 excise, and we were waiting for the new treasurer collector to start before we got dates. You signed excise abatements, exemptions, real estate abatements, and Kevin signed payroll, I think. Did you sign payroll? I don't know.
I did.
Okay. There was no old business. The next meetings I told you were February 13th and 27th, and you adjourned the meeting at 6:28, and the board was going to stop by to sign paperwork.
Anybody note any errors or admissions?
Looked good to me.
Okay.
I'll make a motion. We accept the minutes as read. or
Okay.
as
I
written.
second that.
All right. All in favor?
All right.
Rod,
Aye.
Bev, and me.
Aye.
Yep. Looks good.
I'm just gonna do 2-0 because Bev wasn't there, so,
Right.
but she can second it. I'll have to decide on that, sorry.
Okay. All right.
So, tonight's agenda. We got a building permit list for January 31st. There's a new deadline for chapter land. It will be moving from October 1st to November 1st. No, it's usually due November 1st. It is now due December 1st. So they're giving them well, they changed the date. They moved it back so people could do their harvesting. I should have highlighted it. I did not though. But so you won't be signing those till later on. We were notified of our free cash for FY23. It was at 3 million plus or minus. I got, oh, and state-owned land. They've announced that state-owned land is out. Ours has not changed. We have a 0% change. I'll keep you updated because sometimes they change those things. Kristen sent me an email earlier today that said that we would, I guess the school committee came in with a huge increase and they're struggling to find out how we can balance the budget. So she's not going to, she's not doing anything with the supplemental budgets that we had submitted. But she did say that if it was needed, that I come back to train, that they would do a reserve fund transfer for that. So at least there's still a plan in place. I submitted the town warrant article because it was due. And do you want to take a vote on that? We were going to submit a warrant article. It's the optional cost of living for exemptions. So for a clause for a clause 17, the assets are at 40,000. So that 40,000 would increase by the COLA that the Department of Revenue sends out yearly. So
Molly, I've got to read that, I think, before I quote vote on that, to
okay,
make sure I'm voting on the correct thing.
all right. So
That's all.
I'll get you copies of this. I already submitted it because it had to. I thought I handed it out.
This was it here, right?
Yep.
Did we go over that last week?
Yeah. Briefly.
No, I don't think so. Well, she
We went over
highlighted,
the idea of it.
yeah,
And the idea was what?
So there's asset and income limitations that people have to meet. So for example, for a clause 17D, your asset limit of 40,000. So if you accept this, the asset limit of 40,000 would increase by the cost of living. So in this example that I'm reading, it says the cost of living was 1.4%. So the income would be 40,000 times 1.1. So for FY23, the asset limit would go up to 40,500. It's not going to go up that dramatically from year to year, but people, if you have, if you have a little retirement fund, that's an asset. So if you're over that 40,000, you don't qualify for 17. And the same
Yeah,
thing with the 41s. So it's just the 17s, which is the widower, and the 41C, which is the elderly. But I did submit the article because they were due today, I believe. I submitted it last week. So I'm sure that we can pull it before.
Yeah, so I remember that we talked about that, Molly. I don't have a problem with that. Actually, my own personal feeling, I think it should be higher.
Right.
I don't know how somebody can be elderly, have $40,000 and expect to make it the next 2 years.
Correct.
Mind living in Berlin, so I mean, I think it
So
should.
we already double all the amounts. This would just be trying to help a wider group of people, and not that it's going to go up dramatically in any one year. Well, maybe except for FY24, because I hear that the cost of living was like 1.7%, but that's still not going to make it,
Right. not gonna kick the door wide open and have 200 people qualify.
Right.
I mean, you're talking cents.
But this is going to be on the warrant as submitted by the assessors, so just,
Okay, yeah.
Can I ask what this is to qualify for?
for the exemptions, for the elderly exemption and
The widow, widower?
the 17, I forget what it's called.
Okay,
I think it's the widow, widower.
okay. I didn't know. I just thought I'd
Yeah.
ask.
So, and I can print out the IGR again if you want to look at it, but. And then, let's see, Kevin and
What-
I met,
that really has nothing to do with the assessors, so to speak. It just allows people who are applying for it have a wider opportunity.
correct,
You know,
but it,
do we get money back for that,
we-
Molly?
anything that you accept by local option, you don't get money back.
Okay, but, so if a widower comes in and they have $10,000 and they have a regular house, what do they get off on their taxes?
So I would suggest that they file an elderly exemption and then they'd get $1,000 off.
Right, so, and we do or do not get part of that back.
We do get part of that back, but it's based on a 1980. It's,
Calculation.
actually, it's based on what you had received when you started doing a local option to increase things. So I can tell you, I don't know what Berlin's was, but
But-
I don't remember the date, but I can find that out.
No, it doesn't, well, for me, it
It doesn't matter.
doesn't
'cause we
really matter.
accepted it, yeah,
we're just trying to talk about what exactly it is. I forgot about it. So if we give them some money back, I think we get some of it back from the state.
right.
So, and again, I don't think it's a
We get a
wide,
portion, we get a portion of it back. We don't necessarily get it all back.
right, but. Okay,
Okay.
so do we want to vote on that? Bev, you comfortable voting on that? Or not? It just,
Or.
In all honesty, not without knowing a little bit more.
oh,
It's all
okay,
right.
then
Bye-bye.
fine.
I submitted it. If,
I think
If
there's,
after you read over it,
Okay.
I forgot Bev wasn't at the last meeting, but
right,
there was
yeah,
a deadline for submission, so.
Okay,
And also, our solar attorney sent me the wording that the town has to accept for a solar pilot to be negotiated, so that'll also be on the town warrant.
so is this applying to a specific party, or is this now just the general statement?
This is the general law that you have to accept in order to negotiate a solar pilot. It changed a
Okay.
couple of years ago, and the prior one, the town accepted, but now you have to update it. So that wording also went to Kristen for the town meeting.
Okay, so what if somebody else has another version of the same thing?
You
How
can,
does-
this is the state law, you have to.
This
you
is what
have
it
to
says?
Accept it, or you
You
can't
have to accept it. There
or
you
you
go.
can't negotiate.
Okay.
We've already accepted the chapter and verse that allows you to negotiate, but they changed the solar one. So now you have to accept the updated one.
All right, so this is gonna come up at town meeting anyway, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Now, who brings that up? The selectmen or the?
No, it'll be a warrant article.
So somebody will have to read it and then talk about it, correct?
Yes, most likely the select board. It's
Okay,
their thing.
okay. And this is also, the previous conversation we had will also come before town meeting, correct?
The exemptions?
Yes.
Yes, this is
Okay.
all on the town warrant, yes. It
Yeah,
has to be
yeah.
approved by town meeting.
Right, I'm just kind of making sure we know what we're doing. Okay,
Okay, Kevin and I went to the FinCom meeting for our FinCom budget meeting and had a conversation with them about step increases and our job descriptions have not been approved since the 2020 HR study. So I had, and part of it was to follow up with personnel, so I sent out a memo to Kristen and personnel, and we'll be on their agenda for Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I posted the meeting just in case you all wanted to come. I can cancel it if you just want me to go, or if one of you want to come, because it was last minute. So, the issue is that because of the timing of Maureen's hiring, she would go almost 2 years without a step increase. So we wanted to discuss that with the personnel board, and also discuss our job descriptions, which we've changed them so many times and sent them off to so many people, and now I can't find any of the originals, so I'm looking for those. Just as an update. So Claire did send me an email and she said, please know that the Personnel Committee did not make recommendations on step increases this year. Our TA, Kristen Rubin, made the recommendations to our committees for our committee's approval. Personnel Committee did make a recommendation, however, that any determined step increases should only be given to employees who had worked at least 1 year for the town. So that's what we're going for, right, Kevin? That was what was discussed.
where we agreed to talk about that,
Yes.
right? So, but in regards to that, everyone, from my understanding, is going to get a cost of living raise?
Yeah, we always get a cost of living raise.
Oh, okay. And how much was that this year?
2.5.
Okay. All right. We are, okay. Anything else
Yeah,
on
so
this?
Vision is having, we got a notice to save the date for Vision's teleconference is going to be April 26th and 27th. And it's going to be via Zoom. And I would like the whole office staff to go because there's always something good to learn from. So I'd like to close the office those 2 days, and we should put, so we can pay attention to the video conference. It's not till April, so you can think about it.
Okay, and so you would be in the office, but it would be
Training.
closed?
Yeah,
Okay. Are you all watching from separate computers?
yes, because
Okay,
it's too difficult to do it. Because you can take different workshops mostly. And
oh,
aside from that, it's difficult to have 3 people watch one screen.
yeah,
Right.
okay.
I wanted to update you on abatements. We have two to vote on tonight. I don't know whether, or I have two ready for you to review or for me to discuss. I don't know how you want to do this. Do you want to go into executive session to do these? Or do we want to wait and maybe have an in-person meeting to discuss abatements?
Oh, when do they have to be done by, Molly?
March, different dates in March, from March 11th onward.
They
we
have to
have-
be done by then?
They have to be voted on by then.
Right, okay, so I'll say voted on. So we can't continue this meeting and go in there now then. So I think we should probably go, well, you have any opinion, Bev or Roger?
Can we, at the end of this meeting, go into executive and talk about it?
Yeah, if that's what you want.
Just a suggestion, Kev.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it. I think we ought to, kind of get it done. If we think we can come to an agreement tonight on it.
There's only two of them, so it shouldn't take that long. And
Yeah,
it's not, it's mostly corrections, not,
okay. But you know how I get going and then things happen, so.
so I'll finish doing the meeting and then we can do the executive session. Did you print out the agenda, Kevin? The wordings down the bottom for later?
I see that,
Okay,
right.
No.
So do we need to log out and log back in? Or are we just gonna,
I'm just gonna not record the executive session.
but if somebody was watching us, can they listen to that?
No, because it's executive session.
Well, we have no attendees, but if there was attendees, yes, they could listen to it.
Okay, but if we don't have any attendees, I'm fine with this. Yeah, so we'll go call it, well, at the end of the meeting.
Yeah.
Are we done a regular meeting?
So, what? Not
Are-
yet.
are-
But-
No, there's some
So-
stuff.
Okay,
So-
we're not finished. Okay, yeah,
Well, so the signature items are, we have the commitment 7 from 92 for excise. Actually from 22, sorry, there's 92 bills at 3,600 plus or minus dollars. And we also are sending out our commitment 1 for 2023 with 3,839 bills at 504,953. $504,963. There's some excise abatements to sign. If you vote on the real estate abatement, you'll be signing those. There's month endings for January. And because we have a new treasurer collector, we have to, for whatever's outstanding, we have to recommit to the new treasurer collector, and those are out there to sign. And then there's payroll for Kevin to sign and payroll for all of you to sign so you guys can get paid.
yes, right.
Yes.
So,
Molly, what was that total again?
504,953. $504,953.
Yep. Thank you.
And so our next board meetings will be February 27th, March 13th, and March 27th. So we'll have to wrap up all the abatements by the 27th. So maybe I should make that an in-person meeting. It'll be
Well-
easier to discuss everything.
Right. How many more are we gonna have? That would be, if we
You'd-
keep,
You'd have the rest of them.
oh, we'd have all of them then. Um,
But we've inspected. All right, let me do it this way. We have two commercials, the mall and Sears, which I'm sure you'll deny. We have the ZPT land, solar land they filed. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there are 6 that we're waiting to inspect.
All right. If you feel comfortable doing it that way, Molly, in our in-person meeting,
Or
Would-
I can set it up for an executive session. Whichever you feel more comfortable with.
doesn't matter. Your opinion, Bev, Roger?
Doesn't matter to
No,
me.
doesn't matter, whatever you want to do.
I think it's easier to do it in person, because then if you ask
Yeah.
questions, I can show you stuff.
Right, we're right there and passing the paper around. So, and we would do what, 6 of them then? The last 6 or,
We do as many as we could, or else we'd have to schedule a meeting before March 11th. Well, let me look at them.
well, this one says March 13th.
Right, those are
So-
those are our next regularly scheduled meetings.
Right, so they're no good to us.
Well, yes, they are, because they're
They are.
a rolling date from the first, it's from when people applied. So it's a rolling date. So we have from,
Oh, I thought they had to be done by March 11th.
no, that's when the first one, whoever filed first has to be done by March 11th.
Oh, I misunderstood you. I thought,
Oh,
It's rolling by the date they filed.
oh, my error. Okay.
No problem.
Hard to have a meeting on the 13th when you really needed it. Should have been done on the 11th.
Right.
Right. Okay,
So I
so,
will change the meeting on the 27th to be in person.
okay. Providing no one gets cut out of the loop and we're all good on the 27th with the rolling date, if,
No, let's just focus on the 27th right now. Don't go too far ahead. You'll get me all.
well,
I will.
I don't want to miss any, you
You
know?
won't. I will do it. I
Okay.
will put the due dates in on my spreadsheet and go from there.
Okay. All right. You think we got it covered? Yeah, I'm good with that. Okay, so okay, are we done our meeting?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so,
can I ask a question?
Oh, sure.
There's a thing here, Molly, that says old business TM exemption article.
I talked about it up in my director's.
Oh,
report.
okay. All right, okay. Just didn't want you to miss out
Yeah.
on,
No, I put things there that as a reminder.
okay.
Thanks for looking at it and reminding us.
No problem.
okay,
Do you want to adjourn our regular meeting and then you can read the executive session, or
I don't want
Adjourn
to
to-
adjourn
you want to adjourn to go into executive session?
executive session,
Good
right,
session.
right.
Can you see? I know I made that really small. Can you read it? Or you want?
At 6:33 PM, Kevin Pond made a motion to go into executive session to discuss pending ATB abatements for settlement purposes in accordance with the Mass General Law C-30A, Section 21A, number 3. So with that, the board will adjourn to executive session and not be returning to the regular session. I'm just looking here, so that doesn't apply.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna,
you have to do a roll call vote.
right, I'm gonna do that
Okay.
now to make sure. So, Bev, are you in favor of going into an executive session?
Yes,
Roger, are you in favor of going into executive session?
Yes.
And I am also in favor.